Hi and welcome. So if you are an artist and you suspect that perhaps you may be getting in your own way in terms of your own success and blocking that success through issues to do with mindset such as fear and self-doubt, then this video is for you. So what I'm going to do is talk about how those issues show up, but more importantly, what you can do about them so that you can then progress with your business. So first of all, as I said, we're going to talk a little bit about what they are. So my name's Amanda Heath and I'm the founder of the Thriving Artist Business School, and I've come into contact and helped a lot of artists over the last couple of years build profitable and successful art businesses. And the one thing that separates the people who succeed and do really well and those that perhaps don't do as well as they could isn't to do with their talent or their art or their products, whatever they create. It's to do with their mindset. Now, that's not to say that the people who succeed are super positive and kind of shiny all the time, because that, quite frankly, it just isn't realistic. We all hit kind of highs and lows, and we all have periods of self-doubt. But the difference is the people that succeed know how to overcome it and move forward and do something about it, rather than being kind of trapped and held in that negative mindset loop. So it's not about being shiny happy all the time, it's about recognizing those mindset issues and then turning them around into something more positive. So how does a negative mindset or fear and self-doubt show up? It may show up in several ways. It may be things like underpricing your work. It may be not talking about your work or showing it as much as you'd like to on social media. It may be thinking that you can't charge as much as somebody else who perhaps has an art degree. All different things like that. It shows up in so many different ways. But the first thing that we need to do is identify what our kind of limiting beliefs are. And we could have them in lots of different areas. They might be to do with money. They might be to do with, speaking on camera, because this, is terrifying at first. So it's about identifying what your kind of blocks are that are stopping you from moving forwards. So one little method I have to do that, okay, is the acronym is ICRA. The first thing is to identify what they are. So let's choose money as an example. So you might have issues and you think, I'd rather do something for free, or I'd rather exchange it. Those are some other kind of limiting beliefs in terms of how they show up, because we're not valuing our work enough to actually charge for it and take the money. So let's say, as I said, your issue or our issue is around money. The first thing that may help you to do is to grab a pen and paper and write a statement that triggers something. So that statement may be, let's say off the top of my head, my work sells for £1,000 or $1,000 plus, and I am happy and comfortable and make more than enough every month. Now, when you say that, it could be any statement, so that's just an example. When you say that, notice straight away what voices and what words come into your head, because if you're like most people, myself definitely included, a voice at the back of your head will start to say, yes, but don't be silly, because, how about this? Have you thought about that? It's not going to be possible, So we come up with loads of different kind of excuses, reasons, beliefs that prevent us from acknowledging that that statement is possible. So yeah, write it down and just literally brainstorm. You can come up with any phrases you want at all. And when you say the word money and what you are earning comfortably, it may be that you think, oh gosh, that's going to turn me into a horrible person, so write that down. Or money makes me greedy, or my art won't be as good if I charge a lot for, whatever thoughts come into your head, because it's going to be different for everybody. Don't filter them, just get them all down on paper. And when you look at that page, what it's going to show you is all of those preconceived limiting beliefs that perhaps you didn't know you had. And if you filter them out and say, oh, I can't say that because that sounds awful, don't worry about this. This is just a private piece of paper. So get every single thought down, good, bad, ugly, and then let's address them, because beliefs are actually just perception. That beliefs are not truths at all. They're just something that we have because perhaps something happened when we were younger, or our parents told us a certain thing, and we've adopted this mindset that we think is true. So it's our job to challenge them. Okay, so first step, identify what they are by writing a statement to do with money, or to do with speaking on camera, or whatever it is that you're kind of feeling resistance to, and then write down every single thought that comes into your mind around that subject. Okay, the second point, which is C, is challenge those thoughts that you've identified. So pick them off one at a time, and then go and find proof that challenges that belief. Okay, so whatever your statement or word or whatever it was that you wrote down, go and look for evidence that supports, actually, that's not true. That's just what I've been telling myself and holding myself back with. Okay, so that's step 2. Step 3 is then to rewrite those beliefs. So we've now identified them, you've now challenged them and gone, hang on a minute, why have I been thinking that for so long? And that's held me back. You know, whatever it may be, it's I can't charge as much because I'm a woman, or whatever. Like I said, you haven't got a degree. And then challenge that thought. And then we're going to rewrite it into something more positive. So, again, I'm probably choosing something off the top of my head. I can't charge as much for my art because I'm a woman as, you know, guys can charge. Challenge that thought and rewrite it and say, you know, in this day and age, it is totally acceptable and fair and justified for me as a woman artist, as a female artist, to earn and charge as much as a male artist, which is obvious. Okay, so once you've got those rewritten kind of beliefs, and you can see in black and white that actually that makes much more sense than your previous belief, then you just need to start affirming it. So write it in a way that's not as long-winded as I just said, just nice and short and snappy, and it just reframes your old belief into a new belief with the proof behind it, and have it somewhere where you can see it daily. You know, it might be in a morning journal, it might be little post-it notes around, you know, where you work, so that you're constantly reminding your brain, because all we have to do is rewire those neural pathways in the brain to move away from an old belief and then towards a new belief. And basically, if we do that often enough, I think there's all different types of research on how long it takes. But if you keep repeating something often enough, that new belief basically replaces the old one. And suddenly you kind of look around one day and think, why on earth did I used to think that? Okay, so in the Passion into Profit course, what I talk about as well with some of the students is the two wolves. I think it's like an old fable, or I can't remember where it originates from, but you have the kind of critical, fearful one of self-doubt, this wolf, and then you have another wolf who is confident and happy and braver with their decisions. And it's about which wolf will survive in your life and in your business. And the truth is, the answer is whichever one you feed. Okay, and that's really important, because if you resonate and hold on to the things that the wolf, the negative one, is telling you, it's like having a crappy a crappy best friend that talks to you in your head and is quite negative and mean. We just wouldn't put up with that. But if you link with that and hold on to it and take those thoughts and run with them, then that is going to grow. Whereas if you have a real fantastic best friend, or the positive wolf, who champions you, who makes you feel good about your skills, this is not kind of bull. We're not asking for somebody to tell us we're wonderful if we're not, but it's those people that recognise brave choices and do let you know what your good skills are, etc. So we want to be listening to that voice and that wolf or friend, because if you do, similarly, that then grows as well. So you get to choose, which one you listen to and which one you feed with your own thoughts and emotions. And just before I finish, I want to talk very quickly about the negative feedback loop and the positive feedback loop, just so it becomes really kind of clear the impact this has on your business and the potential of your business. Your beliefs that you have, whether, let's start with a negative belief first of all. If you have a negative belief, it's going to affect the actions you take because, quite simply, you just think, well, I'm not that good, it won't really work, I'm not sure it's worth it, those kind of things. So you take half action, okay? When you take half action, clearly you're going to get half results. So your beliefs inform the actions you take, and the actions you take quite clearly inform your results. And when you get those kind of half, successful results that neither really kind of here or there, it just goes to confirm, well, I knew it wasn't going to work. I knew that was a bad idea. I wasn't good enough. It wasn't my thing. And it reinforces it. So next time you take even less action, and so on and so forth. So belief, actions, results. Let's spin that round and look at something more positive. If you think what you're about to try or what you're going ahead towards is scary, but you're like, yeah, I can see the potential and I can see other people are making this work as well, then, there's no reason I can't do it too. That's going to inform your actions, and you're going to take braver actions. They're going to be bigger and bolder, and the likelihood is from those actions you're going to get better results, okay? And then when you get the better results, exactly the same as the other loop, it's going to reinforce you, but this time in a positive way. So what you'll do is you'll say, oh my goodness, I can't believe, I knew this was a great idea. I was slightly terrified, but I went for it anyway. And these results have literally blown me away. If I hadn't tried this, I wouldn't have got these results. So it makes you more confident, and therefore next time you take even braver action. So it's a cycle that can either grow positively, and you grow in confidence and you grow in skills, and you move forward with kind of grace and ease towards that business that you really love. Or you take half-hearted steps, you see the results, you look at it in a negative way, it affects you in the future, and you say, oh, I'm not doing that again because it doesn't work. So you get to choose, basically. This is the sum of the whole video. You get to choose which wolf you feed, the fear one or the brave one. You get to choose your thoughts and whether you challenge them or not and rewire them and change them into new thoughts. And if you do, that is when the absolute magic happens, because I've seen really talented artists and work with them with mindset issues that are just stuck, and it's nothing to do with their talent. They are fantastic. It's all up here, what they think they're capable of, so what they decide in terms of opportunities they're going to go for. And conversely, some artists that are fantastic, not as good as the other ones perhaps, but still very talented, but they have just worked through mindset issues and know, hang on a minute, this voice is natural, everybody gets it, the criticism, the self-doubt. I'm not going to let it take hold. I'm going to challenge those thoughts and actually rewire it into something else. And so it kind of kills that wolf and feeds the more positive one, and then they move forward with their business. So that was video 1 of 4. So this is a series of 4 videos in total. And the second video is about basically spreading yourself too thin and trying to attract everybody, perhaps on social media. And the results of that are you get lots of likes, maybe lots of follows, but they're not turning into buyers, and you equally are exhausted. So that's what we're going to talk about in video 2, and I do hope you can join me for that. But for now, take care.